Hi. So, tomorrow's video, because I haven't gone through it yet, is going to be on Chain of Gold, because I finished it yesterday, and I need to discuss it, but I didn't mark any pages or any bits that I enjoyed, except for one that I posted on a Facebook discussion group. So I'm hopefully gonna get tabs today, and then I'll tab some stuff up, and then we'll go through it tomorrow. So for today's video, we're going to discuss my now trilogy, no longer duology. I finally figured out what I'm going to do for the first book. So since we're going to be going over some of what I've been writing, this video is probably not going to be very long. Sorry. There's another author that I've been watching YouTube videos on. I might put her stuff down below. She's currently also working on a novel, and she actually goes into pretty good detail without giving away the whole plot, like I've basically been doing. She doesn't give details, she just talks about her characters, and I'm like doing the exact opposite, where I'm like, look at all these details, but like, I'm not talking about the characters whatsoever. But today, I'm hoping maybe my thoughts won't be too scattered. Won't give away too much of what I'm writing, and also maybe dives more into the character aspects than like the novel aspects. But I'm very excited to discuss the first book today. I started working on it last night after writing quite a bit of like background stuff, not even just for like the books itself, but like the society background. So I've gotten to the point where they have like 6 gods and goddesses that they worship, and 3 fates, which is kind of like Greek mythology. But then there is 4 goddesses that are like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse kind of situation. And they're kind of the ones that's like behind the scenes of a lot of dark stuff going on. So they're gonna be fun. I just have to incorporate them more into it, which is gonna be great. I've already got the main god, which is the sun god. He's incorporated like everywhere because that's just easy, because he's the main boss god dude. I also figured out some basics for the magic system. So for the basics of magic in this universe, you can obviously do like spells and conjurings if you've got like the ingredients and everything to go with it. If need be, the reciting stuff, you know, whatever. As long as you have some form of magical ability, you should, for the most part, be able to do like spells and potions and stuff. For the non-basic magics, that goes into more of the elemental magics, which is what's more noted, especially in the second book with the main character, and I guess like the second half of the, not even the second half, I wouldn't say, of Mirabelle's story. She's the bad guy. She's the main character. It's confusing. What do you want, Gus? He's not asleep today. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Come say hi. Come say hi. He's not enjoying this at all. Okay. You can just sit in my lap then. That's my cat, who is not actually asleep today for once in his damn life. I have too much stuff down here. This room is very tight and small, so I don't really usually have a lot of room. Yay! Okay, you're leaving me? Is that what's happening? So then we get into the more non-basic magics, like the elemental magic. stated previously. And stuff like necromancy and dimensional magic and just like more powerful shit that you actually have to like study really hard in order to do usually. The elemental magic is a little different because like that's more drawing power from a certain element. So yeah, that's all I have for that. And then I kind of went into some detail about like Kai's magic base versus Mirabelle's, because there is a difference. Not one that I'm gonna state because I'd give shit away, but there is a difference technically between his elemental magic and hers. Which, yeah. 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 So basically, I just typed up like 4 pages worth of like background stuff that included like the magical background, the gods and goddesses, like the civilization kind of. I probably need to go into a little more detail about the actual people, like how they make money kind of situation. Don't know if it's like a trading system, just trading, or if it's like money and trading, or if it's like just money. I haven't gotten that far yet. Those things I probably won't think of until I'm writing them. I do that a lot. I try and, when I think of stuff to incorporate into the book that's not what I'm doing at that exact moment, I do write it down, whether it's in a completely different folder on my computer or if it's on something on my phone. Okay, my cat's gone crazy. So yeah, I do try and take note of my ideas as they're coming. A lot of times too, I think of stuff when I'm in the shower, for example. I know a lot of authors and artistic people in general tend to do that because it's relaxing. It's so warm. So I think a lot of ideas while I'm doing that, or if I'm just kind of like laying in bed listening to music. Sometimes, guys, what, baby? I'm doing a video. You can't be so loud. He really wants to be friends with the pup, Manny's sister's pup. But as soon as they see each other, Gus either runs or hisses, generally, or just stands there just doing nothing. And then the pup will get right up in his face and then generally bark because he doesn't understand what Gus is. So they're friends through our bedroom door, but not actually friends face to face. Yeah, it's fine. Gus is the distraction. I apologize. I don't even remember where I was. Talking about ideas or something, probably, since that's the whole point of this video. So yeah, I've been writing a lot, thinking a lot. It's been really good, actually. I don't usually do outlines. I just think of things in the moment. Outlines are awful for me. I can't partially because I like to think of things on the fly. It's a really bad habit, honestly, because that is usually how I get stuck. So I've kind of developed a process where I'll write, even if I don't know certain details, I'll still write out what I have in my head at that time, and go from there. And usually things will start branching out if they need to be branched out. If I am at a complete stop with the storyline, even trying to think of more ideas doesn't usually happen. It's a problem I faced with many of my other novels. I will either have like some stuff mapped out to the point where I'm like, yeah, that's enough. And then it's not. My elemental storyline has been like that since forever. I thought of that when I was like 11. Guess it's just going crazy. My Angel Chronicle storyline, I know pretty much how I want the first book to go and the beginning of book 2. That's it. Don't know anything else. Every time I try and think of an ending, I don't like it. I don't like where it ends up. But I can't think of anything new. So I'm stuck. And that's kind of been my issue for a long time, as I've been trying to expand on ideas that I've had for so long that my brain is just like, no, there's nothing. There's nothing there. You can't do anything. Stop trying to penetrate this wall. With this, I think because it was such a new idea for me, my brain's just kind of been like, here's all this stuff that you could be doing with the storyline. I've scrapped ideas already that I've written. I wrote like a whole chapter and a half that I didn't fully delete. I put it aside into a different folder, but I scrapped it from what I had been writing. And since then, I've had a much easier time writing after what I scrapped. It didn't make as much sense to me to make the story progress compared to what I'm doing now. But it's very frustrating because I don't know how to do that with any of my other storylines, because there's just so much to them now that is ingrained into my school that, like, I don't think I can find room to change stuff mentally. Which sucks. It's storylines that I've loved for years and I don't know what to do with anymore. But that's kind of why I've been so excited about this one. Even with the frustrations of it becoming a trilogy instead of a duology. Yeah. Anyway, that's my griping. I don't know what this video is. I don't know what it was supposed to be. But let's keep going. So the first book is dual points of view again. Double points of view again. You have the main character, Mirabelle, whom I secretly just adore. She is a tragic royal, basically. She's got spirit. Even though she seems very delicate, and just weak, basically. Doesn't seem like the type of person to become a fighter. But she does. She finds that inner strength due to more tragedy that ends up happening to her later in her life, and she just kind of is like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna try and find something to fix this. And she goes off on an adventure, where she meets, you've heard this name before, Kaysen, this young man who is looking for an adventure for his own self, but not for the senses of like helping people. He just wants to do something that's not boring. His father's always been a merchant trader type seaman, and at this point in time, Kaysen doesn't know if that's what he wants to do with his life. He's all like, look, I love the sea, but I want to do something fun. And so he just leaves. But he ends up running into Mirabelle on some dock somewhere, looking for a ship to take him to the furthest northern point. He doesn't want to go to the south necessarily, just because it gets too hot. It just turns into deserted wasteland, basically. The further south they can go, but north seems more exciting to him. He's never been further north. And that just happens to also be where Mirabelle needs to go, is north. So they sort of end up starting to complement each other. You've got the doesn't give a fuck character, Manny's home, and the princess-esque character. Hello, I'm recording. Thank you for the Tylenol.
Recording?
Yeah.
Gross. What song did you get?
I don't know.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm very excited to continue writing this. I'm not 100% sure how these characters are gonna be. I think Mirabelle's kind of gonna act all like prim and proper, and then she's gonna surprise Kaysen somehow, because she's just had enough of the disappointingness in her life, basically. Even though she's royal to an extent, that didn't look like good hand gestures. She's royalty, but it's like, what can you do with a character who, to some extent, has basically had everything given to her her whole life and still make her feel tragedy? Well, you kill people. So that's basically what I've done. I've killed things that she cares about. That's all. That's all. So she ends up, you know, going off, being awesome. Doesn't matter though, because, yeah, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Tragedy still strikes. Yep, that's all. I'm gonna start getting into the storyline if I keep talking, so I'm gonna end it here, guys. Sorry this video was kind of all over the place. Most of my videos are, realistically, so like, if you've stuck with me this long and you actually watch my videos, you know. Yeah, and then tomorrow we'll be going over this, hopefully. I did not get tabs. Manny left early and did not give me tabs. He only brought me that level. So I'll have to figure something out. Anyway, have a good day, guys. See you later.